What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday. I need like a laugh track or like a applause track, you know? Yeah. It's the Nerd Den. What's up, everybody?
I remember we talked last year about getting a AI generated opening or something like that, and you never did it.
I know. Well, I need to do that. That is absolutely something I need to do, like 100%. Definitely. How are you guys doing? Happy Friday.
Wonderful. Good. Busy.
Yay.
Crazy.
Busy.
Great.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. I'm trying to load. Let's see if something. Oh, that's cool.
So I had a guy come into the store Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and he handed me a small stack of comics, and I flipped through them, and there wasn't anything that jumped out as incredibly cool, valuable potentially. So I looked at the guy, and I'm like, there's really nothing here. So I offered him $10, and he goes, okay, cool. So he took it. It wasn't until I got home that I'm flipping through these books, and two of them stood out. One of them I knew had some value to it, but I mean, it's not in the greatest shape, but it's still a first appearance of somebody. So it's, I mean, if it was a mint condition comic, it'd be like $100 comic, but it's not. But it's still kind of nice to have. And that's this issue right here. This is Tales of the Teen Titans number 44, part of the Judas contract for anybody who was following DC back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, this is
That's where the chick showed up.
Yeah, this is Tara, yeah.
Tara.
But this is the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. This is where he first appeared as Nightwing. And it also, the story is the origin of Deathstroke. So it's actually a key issue. The other issue that I found in this deck, which I looked at it and go, this is an older issue. It's from 1976. It's All-Star Comics, issue number 58. And I'm looking at this issue going, there's nothing special about this book whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But I always double check because I don't know everything. I brought this up. A 9.4 copy of this book is worth over $300.
Holy shit. Why?
First appearance of Power Girl.
No shit.
Oh,
really?
shit.
This is the first appearance of Power Girl. Yes. And yeah, well, there's a little ding in the cover down here in the corner, a little rip in the cover, and it's not great. It's not a perfect condition, but even if it came back like a 5.0, which I think it's better than that, it's still a $50 or $60 book.
Yeah.
But I'm like looking at it going, I would have looked at this and thrown it in the quarter bin, not thinking anything of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, first appearance of Power Girl. I mean,
That's
like
incredible, dude.
So, long story short, you hustled the guy.
Not intentionally, but yes.
Andrew.
Not intentionally. Don't worry, Ramel. Don't worry. He'll sell it for like $3.
Hey, Andrew, you better hope that the guy you hustle isn't watching this live stream because you might get a...
Yeah, our reach is massive, bro.
I am almost... he's the one guy out there watching right now.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. Are you a DC guy, Andrew? You seem to have a lot of. No, you're not. You seem to pick up a lot of DC books.
Yes. What are you talking about? He's always been a DC guy.
I'm neither a DC guy nor a Marvel guy. I followed certain artists and certain characters. Granted, my all-time favorite character is a DC character, Batgirl, but I was never really a DC person. What are you talking about? What?
Oh, so Andrew, let me ask you. What did you think of the Batgirl Burnside run from a few years ago? So
I like the costume design, and I like Babs Tarr's art, but there was nothing about that series that got me to pick up more than the first issue. So
what? Not even. Get down. Not even the hipster bashing.
Nope, I did not care. Like I said, I followed artists, and Babs Tarr is a great artist. I think she's awesome, but she's really not She's not a comic book artist. She's more of a pinup artist. And there are a lot of artists out there that are like that, where they do really great pinups and covers and stuff like that. But when it comes to drawing comics, they're just really not dynamic. But still, I like their art.
So Andrew, let me shoot you a question real quick.
Sure.
If you had your choice, say your Mount Rushmore of artists, who would be on there?
Art Adams. Art Adams number 1, probably Michael Golden number 2. Mignola would be number 3, and I'd have to go John Burns / Walter Simonson as rounding up my 4th.
Interesting.
Yeah, because those are like 4 guys that I would love to have an original piece of art from. And actually, I do have.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again. Mignola, Art Adams,
Michael Golden, and John Burns / Walter Simonson.
Got it.
Because I put both of them, like, they're both gods in my eyes, but they're right up there. Like, I think George Perez would be up there as well, but he's no longer with us. So
no, Adam Hughes wouldn't make your your Rushmore. What?
No, not really. No, he's great. He's good, but he's never been somebody I followed. He was never somebody I consider.
Adam's an incredible artist, but he does not have the body of work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's
got a work that has a body though.
When I think think of artists,
he has no. Think about it. Has Adam Hughes done any landmark book?
No.
He did the sequentials. Adam Hughes zero.
He did.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Which were good.
Gen 13.
It's not landmark. That's not a landmark book.
2 issues, really?
That's not a landmark book, man.
Nah.
Are you kidding?
That's not a definitive run of anything.
When I think of artists who are like the pinnacle of what I like, I always ask myself the question: have I ever bought a comic just because an artist did the cover, caring not one diddly squat about what was inside of it? And the answer is yes. Jason Pearson, Art Adams. I see I got Adam Hughes on the brain. Art Adams, Michael Golden, and Jason Pearson were the 3 that I bought a comic for just because of the cover. Period. And I don't normally do that. But the covers were so awesome, I bought them.
Yeah.
So
they were really good, to be fair. Like,
they're still good. Except for
I can never
Jason,
get into
not
George
with us.
Perez. Like, I really wanted to, and like his detail is fucking amazing. Like, and there are some pages that I've seen. I mean, I used to own 1 or 2. They're just fucking unbelievable. But
he was the king of big team books.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he was just the guy. If you wanted to have someone draw more than one character, like, he was the guy.
If you wanted to, or if you wanted 2 big teams fighting, and you needed that storytelling to make sense and have all those characters there, well, George Perez is your guy.
And have all distinct characters.
Yeah, that was your guy. Nobody else could do it like him.
Ramel, who's your Rushmore?
My Mount Rushmore, so far as artists, I would say with on pen and ink skills, definitely Mike Mignola. He's up there. Bill Sienkiewicz. He's up there. I don't know. I really want to put Adam Hughes on there and David Soto, but
see, I can see you going. I could see you going like Brian Stelfreeze or
Brian Stelfreeze is he's still on that teeter. Like I said, Adam Hughes and David Soto and Brian Stelfreeze, they're like right there, but you got to give me some time in order to really kind of flesh that out, because there are other artists more deserving of those last 2 slots than them.
I always figured Masamune Shiro would be on your Rushmore.
Okay. Yes. Without argument. Yeah.
I didn't know you were American, so.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me. It's one more slot. You just gotta give me time. I can't think now. When you talk about just artists who could paint, I would say Simon Bisley, Alex Ross. I can't put Bill Sienkiewicz up there. I can't put him up there.
Well, he's a great painter too.
Yeah, but he doesn't deserve that slot.
Fair enough.
See, what about maybe somebody like Steve Rude or Frazetta or
Frank Frazetta. Yes. I wouldn't put the one chick that did the cards, Olivia, whatever her name is.
Right.
Olivia.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, she made great cards, but she still wouldn't make my Rushmore.
No, it's because she's a chick.
I think mine. That's a good question. My Rushmore, the 4. I'd have to put. I'm looking at my shit here. Probably. From Akira, right?
Yeah.
Alex Toad. Honestly, either 90s Silvestri or Hiroaki Samura from Blade of the Immortal, because like that run is fucking sick.
I would. Sorry.
You ever see that, Romel? Hiroaki Samura's Blade of the Immortal?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, phenomenal stuff. I wouldn't put. It's kind of unfair to put Alan Silvestri on the same tier as that guy, because
I know. Well, like Mark Silvestri, like if he was like, it's like, I guess that's the question. Is like, are we talking about like an entire career, or are we just talking? Can we focus on a run? I guess not. I guess it's got to be the career.
Focus on their height.
All right.
The height of their powers.
How do they make you feel inside when you think of them?
Like
does it make you warm and fuzzy, or does it put a chill down your back? I mean,
I would have to.
Well, that's debatable from artist to artist, because me personally, Frank Miller delivered one of the greatest stories.
Right.
In the what was that? The 80s, the Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
That is unprecedented.
Yeah, dude. I've got the artist edition signed by it. That I had him sign it. Like that fucking book weighs 50 pounds, and Andrew watched me lug it like all the way to the fucking.
It's amazing.
Hell. Yeah. But I got Frank Miller to sign it, and fucking Klaus Janson was sitting across from him, and I went to go get him to sign it too, and he like left.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he saw you coming.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
I would pick Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Mike Mignola, Walter Simonson, Howard Chaykin.
Yeah, I can see that. Howard Chaykin. Okay.
You know what's so funny about that list is Howard Chaykin.
I forgot about him.
Howard Chaykin's the only one of that Avery name that wasn't part of the Dark Horse Legends line.
Well, that Legends line was better than the Image line, so.
It was.
Yeah. Actually, I thought the Blank Noir line was good,
well, yeah.
which was the Gaijin Studio guys, and then the Legends line. So
I might put Pearson's like 1990s, like his Body Bags era was so fucking sick. Like the blocky way he would draw characters, that shit was so good. I don't know. That's tough.
Who was that again that did Body Bags? Who was that?
Jason Pearson. He passed away.
Really?
Yeah.
Self-delete.
You know, if
end of last year.
If you want to ask someone who's not as much of a combo guy as you are, but I do have I would probably pick Frazetta, Moebius, and Jim Lee. Mostly because I did, I like that. I like what he did with Gen 13. I think that was his book, I believe.
Gen 13 was great. Yeah.
I mean, well, I just like the way he draws women. So,
What about Doc? What about you, man?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm so far removed from actively reading.
It doesn't even matter. Who the 4 favorite artists? It doesn't even matter.
I mean, the guys, the people's art I always used to really appreciate. I love Mike Allred. I really like his style, and with his wife. I mean, that's just like they've got their own thing.
Yeah, Madman was fantastic.
Yeah, just a huge Madman fan back in the day. Sam Keith. Always appreciate that. I love the sprays and the dribbles and just like that crazy frantic stuff that he does.
Yeah.
Jim Lee, of course, you can't go wrong there. Gosh, trying to think of a fourth one that I really appreciate off the top of my head. I might have to come back to me.
No,
You know who's a great painter? I'm sorry, but Mark Teixeira.
Mark Teixeira. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Teixeira was a great painter.
His Wolverine run was fucking sick.
So no love for McFarlane or Liefeld, huh?
So here's the interesting thing.
I know damn well you didn't say McFarlane and Liefeld in the same sentence. That is
Ramel, you're gonna be mad at me. Hold on. I'm gonna get some shit for this.
No, we love McFarlane. We were just talking about a personal Mount Rushmore.
Hold on, man. No, I'm gonna get some shit for this. Because
you know what? No, you're automatically discredited if you put Rob Liefeld on any Rushmore. That is blasphemy.
He deserves some credit.
For what?
Wait,
selling a lot of books.
I'm gonna get
causing a lot of
shit.
hype, and we all of us at 15 years old gobbled that shit up.
I'm gonna get some shit for this. I've got the McFarlane artist edition Amazing Spider-Man stuff, so I can see his Spider-Man pages.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Because in my opinion, it actually doesn't. I mean, and I love McFarlane. I'll never. He's absolutely in my top 10 forever lifer. But I actually think Liefeld's work actually holds up a little better now. I know I'm gonna get shit. It still looks like not the best, but it actually holds up better than McFarlane. I don't know why.
Go look at Liefeld's very first couple of books.
His New Mutant stuff and his little early X-Force stuff is not bad, dude.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. It's not bad.
I'll give you a pass on that.
He did an X Factor and an X-Men fill-in issue, and those fill-in issues are actually
who's on the
Foghorn?
That's me. Sorry, my mother was calling. Sorry.
When Mama Davis calls, it's like ooga.
It's the vibration. It's the vibration of the phone. It's the way it.
Yeah.
Hey, you understand? We're in the middle of a heated debate right now.
That's why she's watching and she's calling in to correct me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just saying, like I look at some of Liefeld's like inks, like his pages. I you know what it is for me is like and just total sidebar. I definitely we'll bridge into like lore games here in a few minutes because I have some ideas. But like here's what I realized about Liefeld, and that really got me to appreciate him. I started listening to his podcast, right? Because he has a podcast called Robservations, and he's like he's just super nerding out. But I was listening to it when it first came out, and what I realized is he's literally a comic book super fan, and the reason he was so popular and the reason he still has so much popularity is that, in my opinion, he draws like the best fan. Like every fan wants to, like when they try to draw, he's like the ultimate fan drawing artist. Not professional. He's not like Jim Lee or Silvestri or like Dale Keown, like craftsmanship. He draws like the ultimate fan, and like that means bad anatomy and weird poses and no wrists and no like all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
but there's something in it's like ultimate fan art. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah, it's the
like
best
he's
fan
the
art.
ultimate fan art artist, and that got him to be a pro, right?
Sure.
Okay.
That's a great way to put it.
Allow me to rebut.
Yeah.
And I'll present Exhibit A. This one book is better than Rob Liefeld's career. And this is a book that I can pick up at random.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll put that. Let me.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, that's fucking classic.
Yeah.
I remember
the content of this book alone blows away his entire career.
I remember Todd's sketchbooks full of stuff of copying stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, like, I guess, like, I was not necessarily a Liefeld hater because I still bought all his shit, but I was never like a fan of his. But now that I'm older and I look back at that stuff he did when he was like fucking 19 and 20 years old, and I'm like, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it in a way that I didn't get it before. He'd never be on my Rushmore, but like I do like. He gets the
little Washington Monument off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big phallic monument.
Yeah, he's straight unilateral.
You got to give credit credit was due, you know.
Well, I mean,
he sold a lot of books.
Well, if he would have kept it simple,
yeah,
his style wouldn't have been so dated. Yeah. And kind of Todd McFarlane was kind of dated with his style, kind of sort of, because like, okay, when it's like basically he had came up with a style that was his own, that was far above what everybody else was doing. I mean, it was just way ahead of what everybody else was doing. Like, oh my God, you know, the amount of care and development that he puts into his art, which was phenomenal. I'm like, God, who the fuck is this guy? And then, you know, but I still liked Eric Larson stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think Eric Larson took over Spider-Man right after McFarlane did that run.
Let me tell you. Okay, so a couple things on that. So the first thing is I have the first, like more or less the first 24 issues of Savage Dragon. So his new stuff is terrible. Like he's lost it. Like he's still doing Savage Dragon, but he's like he's gotten weird. Like he's into like Asian fetish chicks and like he's turned Savage Dragon into a weird porn book. It's strange as fuck. It's really fucked up.
Excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm going to the comic shop.
Well, yo, look here. Check out. This is Christmas.
Yeah, he's got, you know, chicks' vaginas, you know, biting off dudes' dicks and snowballs.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of crazy shit. But I also got the collected, right? Let me tell you.
Well, hold on. Dr. Funk, if you're into that type of stuff, might I suggest might I suggest a series if you can get it on DVD or Blu-ray. It's called Yaratsuki Doji.
You're gonna give him Yaratsuki Doji? Or the Blue Girl?
Dude, I had that, remember? It's right, actually it's right here.
Yeah, he's got look.
Oh, okay, you're good then. You're good. All right, you're good.
Dude, we all are all nerds here. So
we are.
Man, Ramel, just mentioning those words like is bringing back flashbacks, and not in a good way.
Dude, I'm trying. Let me tell you, and Avery, I see that image too, but like,
yeah,
for Ramel's point, like, let me tell you, dude, the first like 24 issues of Savage Dragon,
phenomenal.
Fucking like again, like Eric Larson is not on my Rushmore, but bro, like this book is fucking like it holds up like a motherfucker. It is so good.
Yeah.
It's like all action, man. It's like just all like pow, like in your face kind of
like any page. Like, that's really cool. First 24 issues, the 24, like probably more than that. Like, but especially like the first 24 issues, man. Like pretty much any page I flip to, like it's just dope, dude. Like he fucking murders it. And
what was the what was his story behind the Savage Dragon? What was he? Just
an alien. Basically, he was like an alien. Like he ended up being like an alien conqueror that was like a mean motherfucker that slaughtered people for fucking shits and giggles, and then he lost his whole memory when he landed on Earth. They banned his own people, like rose up in a coup and like shot him through the head and erased his memory, and he was shot to Earth, and he doesn't remember anything. So now he's a cop, like a good guy. But then they killed him. The fucked up thing is like Eric Larson. So one of the things that I like and about the book that's so interesting is Eric Larson does this book in real time, meaning the Savage Dragon ages in real, like a month.
Right. Yeah.
When the monthly book comes out, Savage Dragon is aged a month, right? And so this Savage Dragon is dead, and now his son Malcolm is like the main Savage Dragon. And like at the minute this Savage Dragon died, his book went, in my opinion, went to shit. Like it really lost the plot. And then he got into like some weird Asian fetish bullshit. But like every fucking page is just a banger, dude. Like every page. Like I can't not pick a page that doesn't have some cool fucking shot on it. Like it's just so good. So like I don't know, man. Eric Larson is actually kind of moving up my ladder. And what's weird is I also got the Cyberforce collected edition because I was like, fuck it, yeah, Cyberforce. Not as good, dude. Not as good. Like it's still Silvestri, but it's a little more busy and like not the storytelling isn't as good. Like you can't tell me what the fuck is going on. And check this out. I don't understand this. So, okay. So the Savage Dragon, this book is actually really well made. It's like sewn, bound, like it's really sturdy. Highly recommended. This one kind of feels like it's going to fall apart on me, right? The complete, and check this out. Can anyone, this is an Andrew question because he probably knows, Cyberforce, Image, right? An Image book, Cyberforce, Top Cow.
Mm-hmm.
The very last page in the printed book, this is a printed book, DC Universe.
Okay.
Yep.
Why is there an ad for DC in a graphic? Like this is an omnibus. There are no ads.
Yeah, exactly. Why is that?
There are no ads in here. Like there aren't any ads in here.
They took an ad.
Yeah,
Probably has something to do with Jim Lee, and he probably has a stake in something in Cyberforce.
Oh, you know what? You just nailed it. You know what it is? I bet you're right because they reprinted Jim Lee's Cyberforce issues in here because this is the complete Cyberforce. You remember when they were all switching over and
yeah,
like there's Jim Lee's is in the book right there, right? Because it's not the complete Silvestri Cyberforce. Cyberforce. So I think you're right. I think to get Jim Lee in there, they had to do a DC ad, which is bullshit, but whatever. Anyway, I highly recommend the Silvestri, the Eric Larson Savage Dragon Ultimate Collections. I'm going to get the next book too. Avery, what's this, man?
This is from Rob Liefeld's like fill-in issue of X Factor. This is before he was regularly in Marvel, and you can see the potential. His stuff was simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just dope.
Like, yeah, if he kept it simple and grounded.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the potential was all here.
It's just hard for me to throw out Rob Liefeld once I found out that like he did the layout. He did the layouts for two of my all-time favorite comic books. Yep. So he did the layouts for Mike Mignola's issue of X-Force.
Mm-hmm.
X-Force number 8.
Yeah. Like
Rob Liefeld did the layouts for that. And Rob Liefeld did the layouts for the Cable 2-issue miniseries. Like, and those two books are my that John Romita Jr. book and the X-Force Mignola book are two of my all-time favorite books. And I found out that he, like, Liefeld is actually kind of responsible for that. At least can't toss that shit out. Anyway. I mean, maybe he can. Rommel looks like he doesn't give a shit, but
no, I mean, I personally feel like, I mean, he fell under his own hubris.
Yeah, for
true.
Sure.
So, but who was that? I kind of liked his work, but I didn't really follow. Who's that one artist that did that series, Patriot, which was that guy who's
Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson, Super Patriot.
Yeah, Super Patriot.
Dave Johnson.
Whatever happened with him?
Avery. Okay, maybe not Avery. I shouldn't let Avery answer.
He's a commie satanic tool bag.
Yeah. Anyway.
And he also was the main designer for Ben 10.
Yeah, Ben 10.
Yeah, but I'm not being hyperbolic either.
No, I know you're not.
No,
you're not.
I was being quite literal.
Yeah, he is actually like satanic and all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Like, yeah, I don't know why, but whatever.
It's the cool hip thing,
I guess. His stuff is dope as shit though. He still does covers. He did covers for
100 bullets.
For 100 bullets for like the whole run. And he still draws his ass off. Like, I mean, the dude is he's a master. Like, he's legitimately a master illustrator.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not good. I was a big fan for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned 100 bullets. I really wish Amazon Prime would animate that series.
I know. That would be, you know, it's coming.
Oh my God, dude.
You know it's coming. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I think we're gonna get a lot of bad series before we actually get that good one.
Probably. Yo, I got something for you guys. I got something. So we did something over New Year's, Dusty and I. Like, we foregoed vacation time, and now Dusty's sick because of it, I'm sure.
It's fine. It's fine.
Dusty, first of all, you feeling better, man? You okay?
I'm not dead, so that's good.
Last time we talked, he actually had to bounce because he said he ate some like cereal and he was about to throw up.
Yeah, that happened. It's fine. We're good. Let's go.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Dusty, do you want to tell everybody what we did over New Year's, or do you want me to take the lead?
No, go ahead.
All right. So we spent New Year's. So you might be aware that on January 1st, 2024, maybe you are, maybe you're not, Mickey Mouse, the original Mickey Mouse, 1929 Mickey Mouse, went public domain. You guys know that?
Yeah. We talked about that.
Right? So what that means is anybody can use the 1929 Mickey Mouse. And so what we did is we actually spent the week prior a lot of time, like we were like, oh shit, and we went all out. We actually pushed Mickey Mouse to the blockchain, and we partnered up with a group called Cypherpunk Labs, and we did an ordinal release of Mickey. It hasn't been for sale yet, but we're going to be doing a launch for the Mickey Mouse ordinal very soon, which is ordinal is basically like an image on a Bitcoin, which is kind of a new tech. And this is ours. This is Mickey Mouse in adult fantasy. So we kind of launched this, and so props to Dusty for working really hard and setting stuff up, and for Flint for being able to take my artwork and kind of toss it into to the case. So we launched a couple of Mickeys. So Mickey Mouse is now inside of adult fantasy. Like, we can use him. Nice. So we have 100% permission to use Mickey Mouse. Like, if I had put Mickey Mouse on an adult fantasy card in 2023, my ass would have gotten sued, right? But now this is totally legit, totally fine, totally legal. This is on model. This is literally Mickey Mouse from 1929. So one of the things that I thought would be really cool, and this is great because one of my personal challenges that I've had, right, is like we have 25 characters inside of adult fantasy so far, and each one is kind of a lead, meaning like I designed them, I was trying to make them like really good, strong standalone characters, which I think I accomplished. But the challenge is that we don't have a lens to look through the world of adult fantasy, like a group or a super team or like a character or whatever. And so I had this idea over the break. I was like, what if we used Mickey Mouse as the lens to look through Hyper Brooklyn and all the shit that's going on with the Primordial and all of our characters? And the shot that I had in my head, have you guys seen Steamboat Willie? You ever seen
a long time ago.
Long time ago? Ramel, Avery, Andrew, have you guys seen Steamboat Willie? Probably not.
Decades,
a long ass time ago. All right, really quick. I'm going to show this to you. Give me 1 second. Because so basically what Steamboat Willie is so there's a couple of different animations that are public domain, and you've got to stick to how the character looks in that public domain, in that setting. Why is the internet going weird tonight or something? Like nothing is showing up on my fucking screen.
Bob Iger knows you're about to twist up Mickey Mouse and shut you down.
For real, like Brave is just fucking up. I don't know. It's weird.
Are you still on vertical tabs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you too?
I heard Steamboat Willie was on the on that Epstein list.
Willie Steamboat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Steamboat Willie. Now everybody's pushing up Steamboat Willie. So everyone's putting up Steamboat Willie. Just hold on. So look at this. Like, so Corridor is pushing Steamboat Willie. Hold on.
Phones were so different back in the day.
Remember? That's crazy. I'm calling you from the back of the taxi.
One second.
What was that, a porn?
No. So this is Corridor, which is like a huge. These guys are huge, and they're just like, look, it's Steamboat Willie. He's finally home. This is the first time a non-Disney entity has legally distributed Steamboat Willie. Like, so they put it up on January 1st. It got 1 million views. We actually are the first. So officially, Adult Fantasy, us, we on the blockchain are the first to post Mickey Mouse on chain anywhere. We own both. We were the first both on Bitcoin, ordinals, and Ethereum.
Nice.
So we got that little, whatever it's worth, a historical marker. The reason I want to share this with you guys, though, is like, so here's Mickey. He's chilling out. But basically what happens in this episode, I mean, at this time, Mickey Mouse is like kind of a punk. Like he's kind of a piece of shit, right? There's Pete. We also put Pete on the blockchain, and we also put Minnie Mouse on the blockchain because they all appear in this episode. So Minnie Mouse is trying to get on the dock, but basically what Mickey does this whole time is kind of like fuck with the animals, right? And they're basically he's fucking with the animals. He gets Minnie Mouse. There's Minnie. He gets Minnie Mouse on the boat, picks her up by her panties and shit, and drops her off on the boat. And then like
that's how you do it,
But basically, the rest of the cartoon is him kind of like impressing Minnie Mouse, and so they just like basically like turn the goat's tail as a crank to make him sing, and Mickey Mouse is dancing, and then Mickey starts like choking chickens and shit to make him sing like trumpets, right?
I'm sorry, you say he was choking his chicken?
Chokes chickens, yeah. He's like pulling the tail on a cat to make him sing, and he's like swinging him around like a motherfucker, right? Like just animal abuse every which way. There's the duck, right? He's choking a duck. So maybe.
Oh yeah, he's really choking that thing out.
Yeah, he's choking it out to me. Look, he's all happy, and he's just fucking up the chicken or whatever.
Hey, he's about to go blind in a minute.
Yeah, and there's the. He's like even scrolling with baby pigs, like everything is having fun, and then he's playing like the teeth of a cow, like a xylophone and shit. So here's what I thought is like I had a shot of an idea of like Mickey getting off of the steamboat onto the docks of Hyper Brooklyn, and he's like, oh, it's finally good to be home, and like he ends up going to a bar and grabbing a drink. Again, it's on model, so it's like Mickey Mouse, right? So like he goes to a bar, he grabs himself a drink, and the piano starts playing or the DJ starts playing or whatever, and Mickey starts doing this kind of shit, but there's only people there because it's a fucking bar, and so basically what he's doing is he's like going up to people and he's ripping their mouths open and fucking playing on their teeth and fucking like breaking some dude's arm to make him scream and fucking sing and shit like that, and he's dancing and he's all smiley and happy. And then, like, you get the shot where people, like, maybe he looks at Minnie Mouse and Minnie Mouse is, like, in terror or something. You have this pulled back shot of the bar and there's, like, blood everywhere. He's basically, like, massacred everybody in the bar because he's basically, like, doing this shit to them. Like, just maiming people and shit, right? And so, at that point, that's when, like, our characters come in. Maybe he gets sent to that Fight Club prison that we were talking about. And before he gets tossed into the Fight Club, he gets rescued and he gets basically put on almost like a if not a Suicide Squad like team, like maybe like an adult fantasy kind of team that we can use to see as a lens through the rest of Hyper Brooklyn, right?
Dude, love it. Have you read Fables?
I haven't read Fables, but I know a book really well. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's like Pinocchio there, but like in real life New York, he's like a pimp and just absolute womanizer and just like real dirty bastard, right? And I love that, like taking these like sweet, beautiful characters and just making them absolute psychopaths.
Yeah, well, he was already an asshole in this thing.
Yeah.
So you get to kind of take the. I don't want to, I want the character. We're smart. Like, look at that shit. Like, we're more intelligent. We're not going to just turn it into a horror movie where he just turns into a dumbass. But like, I do think there's something there where he's kind of like tries to adapt and tries to do the things that he was doing for 100 years, and now he can't, or he realizes there's different repercussions in this world, right?
Yeah.
And so he's got these superpowers because even in this world, in this episode, his special powers are basically like stretching and twisting and shit.
Right.
Like, look at that. He's basically like Mr. Fantastic, right? Right?
Yeah.
So he gets to like he can kind of just like, right? He's just a dick.
Yeah.
So I think there's something that we can do there, and I wanted to kind of bring that into lore games because I'm ready, man. one of my personal goals for this year is to like get busy. Like I've got let me see. I've got and Andrew knows this. The guys, I think Andrew and Ramel and these guys know it, and Avery. But like this right here, these are all like pages. These are like graphic novel pages that I've been writing, and this is like old. This shit is old, but it's all like it's ready to go. So I was like, okay, we need to do this for adult fantasy. I'm ready to go, like LFG, man. So thinking about a story.
Todd,
yo,
can I get from my 2 cents for what it's worth?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good idea, but only as a limited thing, because. There's a chance there's a real chance that it might be seen as just a gimmick, and that could. The worry I have is that it might end up tainting the brand. So so for example, let's say we create a comic where we have Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie era coming into our world and basically doing all kinds of really freaky shit, and that gets us some attention. But if we're not careful, that could just be all that we're known for, and that's all people care about.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not saying that Mickey becomes like the only thing we do or like the main character. I just think as an intro book, if you think of it as a novel, right? Kind of like how we did with Blood and Metal and the Cobalt Fox story that we came up with, kind of like that. It's like, okay, well here's another character, and this character we actually can use to see a brand new world through his eyes because he's not a resident, he's a new resident. We get to learn the ropes as he gets to learn the ropes.
Well, speaking as a writer, I would actually do that, but I would do that not as the intro comic, but as something that comes after the intro comic. So like we already did an intro. We already did like an intro comic last year. I think we'd be better off focusing on our character, on the characters we have first, and then because like first off, we're not even sure how the world really works. We're still working that out.
Yeah.
And then once we've got that nailed down, then you would then we could bring in Mickey Mouse and do all that. I mean, it's a fun idea. I'd like to see it happen, but I think we just have to keep in mind the bigger picture of what we're trying to build.
Fair enough.
You don't want to. The danger I just think is that it's seen as a gimmick and it ends up overshadowing everything else we're trying to do.
Nah, fair enough. I mean, that's a good point. That's not.
I think I agree. Established, and you do like a little side thing that's taking place in the same vicinity, and figure out a way to connect the dots.
Fair enough.
Which is like a little limited kind of thing.
So, like for example, I mean, there was a book that came out I think last year, a couple of years ago, where they took like the classic Looney Tunes characters like Elmer Fudd, Bugs Bunny, all the rest, and they basically put them into, and they did a Batman story about it, and it was dark. So basically, it was
it's the only the Elmer Fudd thing's the only thing that writer's done that's worth a crap. Well, it's what's his face, the CIA guy that likes to cry.
Tom King.
Yeah, Tom King. That Elmer Fudd Batman story is actually really good, and it's got Lee Weeks art.
So, but the thing is, they did that as an add-on to an already established character, not something that's still unknown. Because I mean, I suppose there'd be a way to pull it off if like. Anyway, I said my piece, so I'm going to leave it at that.
No, you're good. I think I'm actually pulling up the World Bible, because I think like what I would like us to maybe do for our next story, and again, totally overrule me if you think it's bullshit. But let me share. I'll just dump this in this tab. But like. Oh, it doesn't change tabs. But I think, like, there you go. We have so many good characters. Like we've written a book on Primordial, and we've got some other things in the works with Primordial, I think.
Yeah, when's that coming out, by the way?
Well, we'll talk about that off air, because I don't want to make that public, but it's coming out. So, yeah. But we've got all these really cool characters, and I think it's time to like tell a story, whether it's like 6 issues, 12 issues, I don't even care. Like whatever the length that kind of starts to tie them all into the world. And I want us to be cautious because like okay, let me put it this way. Like I was looking at the Savage Dragon stuff, because the reason I got back into Savage Dragon was because I remember the first 3 issues, Eric Larson had like 20 characters in there. And he totally does. Like you read the first like 3 or 4 issues of Savage Dragon, and it's obvious he put everything into it. Like the kitchen sink. And it's not necessarily the best comic read-wise, but he put all his characters out there and they're interacting, and there's like every page is like a new character introduction. And I don't necessarily want to go that hard, that compressed, but I would like to look like the reason he can introduce so many characters is because Savage Dragon is the main character, right? And so I don't necessarily want to take away from any of these characters, but we should start off like, I guess one of the things that we talked about is either doing a book, almost like a novel, graphic novel, where there's like a character or a team and you're looking through the world through their lens, and we start introducing characters like that. That's the Savage Dragon kind of layout. Or we do something like a Dark Horse Presents, where it's like Adult Fantasy Presents, and there's like 2 or 3 stories in there that don't necessarily relate at all, other than being in the same world, and then you're just kind of like telling different issues and different stories, different characters.
I like that.
I would like to go. I think the first route would be the best. What I would suggest is we pick like 5 like a core team, 4 or 5 characters, like Carl, D-Boy, Stan Perpetual, maybe a few others, Action Jackson, Full Metal Jackson, and so on and so forth. And we start small and we build out. So don't throw the kitchen sink all at once, because it might overwhelm readers.
Wait, so Zach, you thought doing like a book that focused on kind of a few characters?
No, not like that. What I'm saying is, like, not a book. So obviously this is going to be a comic book run, right? So
yeah, book. When I say book, I mean like graphic novel.
Yeah. So we start. So we start small. We start focusing on like 5 characters, just because otherwise we have too many characters, it's going to overwhelm the story. Like for example, if you watch the like one of the problems that DC had with its movies when it was trying to basically catch up with Marvel is that they tried to do too much in too little space, so it got overstuffed.
Yep.
So that's something we start with like a core team of 5 characters, and basically, like, let's say for example we get Carl's recruiting a bunch of guys for a bank heist. So it's like it's basically like Ocean's 11, but where the knobs turned up to 11, and there's a main plot line they follow, and then other characters interact with them along the way, and that's how they're introduced. But like we do it like one at a time or a few at a time. So for example, we have Carl. We have Carl as the mastermind or whatever, and he ends up but he has to like recruit people for his job, and that'll be the core 5. And we would have to tie in like other characters as the opponents or people they have to deal with. Mm. But not too many though. Because we don't want to throw everyone out there at once. But we like pick 5 core characters, maybe like 5 other characters that who act as a supporting cast. Because
now, just for counterpoint, Doc, you were kind of liking the Dark Horse Presents angle.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I think if you've got a main storyline, and once you're established to be able to do this kind of like ancillary, one-off thing, or maybe a couple different issues where there's these, like you said, like different stories that just still paint a picture of the world. That once it's established well, I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Because we can mix and match. Like the other thing is too, like we could have, one title, and one of the things I did like about the way that the height of like Dark Horse Presents worked is like they would have like say Hellboy or Sin City. Mm-hmm. They would have like Frank Miller's Sin City, and that would be like 12 issues because it was just a couple of pieces, right? Like, mm-hmm. like 5 pages, 10, like chapter by chapter.
Yeah,
right?
we already been over all this.
Yeah, we've talked about this, but then they would have other runs in there that might be 3 issues or might be a solo shot. So you kind of pepper the characters in there. Mm-hmm. So we could kind of maybe do kind of both things, like have one bigger story that ties, several issues together, and then have like little one shots of other characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know we talked about this. I mean, Avery and I talked about this for sure.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool.
I went away from it, and I guess I'm coming back to it. Like,
I guess we would have a main storyline with a core group of characters, and then have tie-in stories like one shots of other characters.
Yeah,
that could work. We just have to decide which characters we want to use, and what the story's going to be.
Right.
Yeah, because you have a ton of lore. You've got a lot of factions. All these side characters. They all have these little developed out blurbs, but finding a good way to, you could have a day in the life that could run 3 issues or whatever, and just be this small weird look into one of these characters' lives, or whatever. There's all sorts of different ways you can approach it, and then figure out how to tie them together later on down the road. But yeah, I kind of like that anthology sort of thing.
And
for big stories, we've got several things blocked out already.
So yeah, I'm not aware of all that.
And so the other thing to remember is when it comes to the Primordial, who's basically the big bad at the setting, I would hold off like throwing him out there in the beginning. Just kind of build up to his revealing. Mm-hmm. So like for example, in like again with the Marvel movies, Thanos wasn't introduced until like about halfway through like phase 2 when he came in Guardians of the Galaxy, and it wasn't until like really like the last movies that it was all tied together. So that's how I would do with the Primordial.
For sure. Oh, by the way, hold on, Dusty. I got a real total sidebar. I just realized something. I'm gonna ping you real quick.
Okay. Speaking of sidebar, hey Drew, didn't you have a video of a McDonald's fight or something that you witnessed? Do you want to share? It was something like that.
Yeah, I just still haven't figured out how to share it with you guys.
It's video. Just share it.
Right, but it's on my phone.
You can upload. You can upload it to the cloud, and then do it from there.
You witnessed a fight at McDonald's, I guess, directly. Then I take it.
It wasn't really a fight. It was more of an argument. But it was rather entertaining.
Well, I'll tell you the most entertaining thing I've seen on the internet in a couple of days. Have y'all seen that one clip of the guy in Las Vegas that jumped across the judge's bench?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That guy, they was reading that guy's previous criminal history.
Oh
with
shit!
Assault with a deadly weapon, a couple domestic violence charges.
You don't say.
Oh yeah.
Huh. That's weird.
So he's had a history of violence in his jacket. And then when a judge denied his probation, whatever, well,
You gotta go hard in the paint sometimes if you already know where you're going, I guess.
Did you see what he responded today? Like how he replied to
I was having a bad day.
Yeah. He said I was just having a bad day.
No shit.
Yeah.
He's having a bad day. He beat the that's probably not the thing you want to do if you're trying to get parole. I'm just putting it out there.
If you want a really scary statistic, actually, do you know I think 1/3 of all American men have a criminal record according to the latest stats. So 50% of black men and 40% of white men have been arrested at one point in their life.
Damn, really?
Yeah,
No.
apparently. So yeah, for example, one of the reasons why the Army is having so much trouble recruiting people now is because the current requirements are that you can't have a criminal record, and you can't you can't be overweight, and you can't be a drug addict.
Well, yeah, there's your problem.
And well, the thing is, 40 when a third of American men are violate at least one of those requirements, it's becoming a bit of a problem. And most of us are drug related stuff. Someone gets caught with something they shouldn't be having, and
the military used to be a place they sent bad boys.
Right.
You got this guy. He's kind of on the edge here. He's done some bad stuff, but he's not beyond savings. Send his ass into the Army.
Oh yeah, that was during Vietnam when they really needed bodies.
They did it before Vietnam too.
Yeah, during World War II, there was I think some cases of that during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, because they were calling up National Guardsmen and extending their stays way beyond they should have and becoming a political issue. So
stop loss.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if we want to get into that because that's kind of getting off topic, I think.
No worries. I don't know. It's hard because it's Friday and we're used to doing lore games on Thursday. And so,
well,
it's up to you guys. If you guys want to just chill, we can chill. Or if you guys want to talk story,
I would really like to put together a story that we can actually do, because we haven't put anything out for a while except for the role playing game, and I don't know, man. I mean, it's fun to chill, but I'd like to end the game and I'm thinking that we got somewhere.
Sure. We've been busting ass. We do a lot of work, man.
I know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I'm ready to get a lot of story content out. I think, and my personal goal for us is 2024 is story, just getting a shit ton of art and story out there.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
Well, can I make a suggestion on a story we could start with?
Yeah.
And you guys, if you guys think this is stupid, please let me know and try and be gentle, because my ego is very fragile nowadays. I break down weeping so very easily. I'm like a delicate flower, just on the verge of being crushed beneath the boot of an elephant. But anyway, so, be gentle. That's all I'm saying. Be gentle. Use Vaseline and be gentle.
You want us to stroke your hair at the same time?
If you don't mind, But anyway, so I was thinking,
that idea fucking sucks.
Fuck you, Drew.
Sorry, I was just getting it out of the way.
All right, I know. I love you anyway. I love you, Drew. You know that. All right, so I was thinking, a good story to start is always just a heist story. I mean, we don't want to go like, mega epic in the beginning. We just, you want to start small and like establish characters. So I always like heist stories, so like I said, maybe core group. I mean, maybe Carl, maybe the Cobalt Fox. So like maybe how about this? Say Cobalt Fox is kind of like this world's version of like Danny Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out of prison, he wakes up in a hospital and he's all shot to pieces, and because he basically got backstabbed by his partners, and he wants revenge, and he knows that the loot they've stolen is going to be in a certain place at a certain time. So he reaches out to his contacts and he brings in 4 or 5 guys, and I would say we'd have to use at least Devoid because we already used her once, but I like to use Carl because Carl's awesome, and go down 2 from next one, that one there, up 1, or Clairvoyant, and we got to use someone like that just because you got to have a babe because eye candy, and let's be honest, we're gonna be read by nerds who don't get out much. So he puts together a team to get the MacGuffin. Like let's say and we also have to pick someone here who's gonna be the enemy, the bad guy, the villain. Trash Panda. How about that? We can say Trash Panda is the guy who ripped him off. And so he has to pull like an Italian job / Ocean's 11 style scam with 4 or 5 guys, but of course nothing ever goes according to plan, and something goes wrong. Maybe one of the guys he hires sells him out, or something else goes wrong, and that's the story is about how they pull off this heist against overwhelming odds, and lots of gunfire and over the top comedic violence.
I'm totally cool with that. What do you guys think?
I kind of had a story floating about kind of like that, a heist idea. We had I'm just dropping this on your doorstep.
Yeah.
Where you have you have a group that get hired for a heist job, but they're meant to be the decoy, but they actually succeed when they weren't supposed to. It's like. That team was supposed to go in, and it's like they were supposed to take all the attention and just, and intentionally fail. Nobody expected them to pull off the job, and they did. It's like, oh, fuck. Now, these guys got it, and that's not the team we need to have it. So, and that's where the double cross sets in. But that's just
that story's much better. Go with that. Forget what I said and go with Ramel's story. That one's so much better.
That's so good. I love that. Yeah. All right. So Trash Panda, Carl, I'll put Cobalt Fox and Clairvoyant, right?
Clairvoyant or some other female character that looks really good in skimpy clothing.
All right. So what was it? So the decoy heist. I'm gonna write this down and I'll decoy.
Well, let me give you a little bit more context.
Yeah.
How is the in this story, how is the currency? Are they is it printed money, credits, or what?
So there's a token inside of one of the things that we're working on called BAMF, which is BAMF. It could be like a crypto thing.
Okay, well, the reason why I'm asking because with that story that I kind of abandoned, what it was that they were hired to intentionally steal the treasury plates.
Okay. Yep. I guess we could.
It was that, but they actually stole it when they weren't, and it was supposed to go to another group, but they actually got it. Like, oh fuck, and they never intended to pay that group. So it's like instead of paying them, the money was supposed to go to the team B that's supposed to actually get it. So now they can't pay A and B at the same time. So they said, well, we'll just kill off A and still pay B. And that's where the double cross comes in. But I mean, it's whatever you want to do with it.
It's fucking dope.
I like it. All right, so I think we got to have Carl on there just because I like the idea of John Goodman's character from Raising Arizona.
Oh God, I haven't watched that for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm afraid to watch that because I don't like to cry during the movie. So, in a movie that has potential of me crying, I avoid.
Why would you cry at Big Lebowski?
No, I thought you were talking about John. Never mind. No, I thought you were talking about a different movie. Never mind. I didn't see it.
I cry at Bluey, so don't feel bad.
Bluey.
Here, dude, I cried watching. Well, I didn't cry, but you get. We've been watching. Sorry to derail real fast, but we've been watching For All Mankind.
For sure.
That's one of the most excellent shows I've ever watched. Absolutely superb on every level. I can't believe I slept on it for this long. We're on season 3 now. We watched like two and a half episodes a night, before we get too tired. But man, if you guys haven't watched that, it's just great show.
For All Mankind, is that on the streaming service?
It's on Apple Plus, I think. But
oh yeah, I pirate everything, so it's on Apple Plus though. But if you want, I can introduce you to the site. It's like $60 a year, paid in crypto. You get everything.
Well, $60 a year. That's not bad.
Yeah, man, you get it all. Every streamer. I mean, we'll talk about it out there.
Just so you know, this is the original Clairvoy there by one
cool.
Ramel.
Nice.
One Ramel Davis.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's you, Ramel?
Well, I drew the character. I no credit for the paint on that.
See, I wasn't aware you were an artist, so
yeah, Ramel said.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never caught an episode. Like I haven't been on a lot of episodes with you, so never really got to chat too much. Dude, that's badass, man. Love it.
Hey, Ramel, how come we never went pro with your writing? Because you definitely got the chops for it, or it just never happened, or what? Or you want to talk about it? Don't.
I was never focused enough. But now I'm seeing how far behind I got left, and I feel a certain type of way about that. So it's like now I'm coming back with a vengeance.
Oh man, well you definitely got the skills for it.
Well, thank you.
No,
you all are my motivation, whether you believe it or not. You truly are.
I mean, I wish I could draw, but never had the time.
No, you're good with your with your thing.
I'm the wordsmith, basically.
Yeah, but Zach, you're a fucking genius at it. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. If I was a genius, I'd be selling a lot more than I am.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, put it like this. You ever watch an old episode of Voltron where you saw the different pilots and they all came together?
Yeah.
That's kind of us, kind of sort of.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say we got Carl.
Really quick. I'm gonna Kyle wants to pop in, so I'm sending the link.
I recognize those.
Yeah, this is Ramel. So we did back in the day we were working on a Clairvoy book. So this was some of the shots from the Clairvoy book.
That was the hardest shit I ever did because I remember going back and forth because it's like the layouts and just doing the artwork. That was a chore.
Yeah.
And one of the things you talked about last night, talking about you always have a B panel.
Mm-hmm.
I've always carried that. That is one piece of advice that I never ever forgot. I always use that.
It really is the best art. Look at how dope that is. The best guy. I mean, no, it's stealth freeze. So I'm like, all right, whatever the dude says, I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it makes sense. Look at this,
dude. That's good, man. How long it goes back in the day? Like, how long were you doing this?
That was 2000. You're looking at stuff that was like, no, that wasn't 2015.
No,
that was
earlier.
No, I could date that. That was possibly.
No, I got it. I'm looking at the file. October 2005.
Yeah, 2000.
No
yeah,
way. So, and you've got Clairvoy, and now Clairvoy's in Adult Fan. How long have some of these characters been cooking in all of your?
I mean,
I know you made some of them up on the stream, right? Or I guess when I found you guys, you had already minted the cards. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these characters go back to us in high school.
Really?
Yes.
That's badass.
A version of these characters.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Void was here. I'll show you. Really
originally
quick.
Void.
It was originally a character called Void, and it wasn't like I originally was like, oh man, we'll bring out this character. It was so cool, and then I actually have the what do you call it? The pages, the original like pages of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically Cable that I shadowed in dark with like
our original version of
it was
Void,
I mean it was a Jim Lee drawing.
It was Cable meets Lobo.
Here, I'll show you check this out. We'll do this and then because I think this will be good for us to warm up and get back into the swing and then we can jump into stuff. But so this was the one of the ash cans we released. So this was a release from like last year before. So yeah, Ramel's in here too. I'll show you. So what this is like some of the stuff from the comic, from the origin comic, but then a lot of this was from so we got the preview of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of this was actually from like high school. So
really?
It kind of went back in. So this is some of Avery's process stuff for the cover. It's fucking sick. It's still, I gotta get that cover. And then some really shitty logos. So this is Void, the original Void logo from like back in the day, 1991.
Wow.
Right. And so this is Avery. This is the very first Void drawing, some math homework, and then like this guy right here. Okay, do you know? Let's do some. Do you know who this is by any chance? Do you know who that is? There's no way. No. That turned into that was. Hold on, let me see if I pull him up. Yeah. So this guy. Oops, I got like 18 screens going on now. Yeah, so that guy right there is
Dead Step.
Right?
Yep.
Awesome.
So same guy. I just took off the mask because I was like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And but he still has like you can't see it because it's like small on the screen, but he still has like he's got a skull on his face, a skull necklace, a skull on his shirt. Like he's still got like
it's way over the top.
Yeah, it's super just like skulls everywhere. So like let me go back to all right, so we've got so
that was done on a backing board, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably. So there's the original Void drawing. I mean, that's literally just a Jim Lee Cable drawing.
I remember that.
Void and Butt Kicker. So this was like his card or whatever. I mean, it's so funny, dude, because like here's his card or whatever, and now we're still doing cards, right?
Yeah, no, totally, man. We used to do stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And you know what? Damn, man, I feel really honored to be able to like hang out with your crew because you guys have been friends for however many freaking years, and you're still at it, man. No, it's cool. I love
close to 34 years.
34.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I got one or two buddies from back in, but we're not like super tight. But yeah, dude, this is really, really cool.
God, I remember that.
So bad, dude. Oh, it's fucking terrible. Yeah. So he's got like it says "fuck you" on his glove.
No, but remember that costume was originally done by that one guy.
It was Scott Shoemaker.
Yes, Scott Shoemaker.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. That was his costume, and I totally was like, "That's the dopest Fantastic Four costume I've ever seen." Look at that. There's a Davis, a Ramel Davis.
No, that wasn't me.
That is totally you, 100%. It's signed by you,
Signed.
right there. Like you signed that. Look, that is a Ramel Davis.
No, I can pretty much get. I probably did the
1991.
I don't think I'd take credit for that either, Romel.
That is. I remember you drawing this. That is a Ramel.
No,
Davis.
that wasn't just me. That was somebody else.
It literally says Ramel Davis on it, and it's
bro. I know my work.
That is your style, bro. Like I think maybe I might have drawn or Avery might have drawn on it too. But that is you, bro. That is 100%.
I get it. It was a collaboration.
Okay.
But it wasn't 100% me.
Fine. I got this. This is the next one though. Is you?
I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying it wasn't 100% me.
It does look a little there. Now you mentioned there is a little bit of Avery in there. I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
like that glove is not me.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, that glove is not me, dude.
Dude, that looks like something I would have drawn, but I don't think that's me. That whole hand with the knuckles, that
is an Andrew. Yeah, maybe it's all of us.
I don't know.
We all touched that. I don't remember. Well, whatever. This one is one of my all-time. I don't know. It was one of those drawings. Like this is 100% Ramel, and it's also like, and I've said this multiple times throughout the years. It is still straight up one of my all-time favorite drawings. Like. I fucking love this. Like, look how sick that is, dude. I don't know, man. It's just like the angle you got the head and the hand. Like, it just works, man. Like, I still fucking love that drawing.
It's definitely a Romel because it's unfinished.
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
You know what? I'll swallow that. I will swallow that.
Dude, I have original pages of your art where the entire character is drawn, but the face is blank because it's unfinished.
I did the same thing, though.
I never did that. I know.
Did
not draw a face.
Really good one. This is the fun stuff that we got, like the Ultimatum universe. Like, look at this. This is some dumb. Look at this shit. Like calling around for art supplies. Like we got like all the notes for like how we're gonna do a business or some dumb shit.
Hey, but hey Doc, yeah. I'm gonna tell you a really funny story while everybody's here. Zach and all y'all may have heard this story, so bear with me. This is just how good of friends we are. So, Andrew has a handful of paintings that I did back in high school. Mm. And how he acquired them was because my mother had, and I got to call her back, but I still haven't told her this story. Next time I see her, I may have the courage to tell her. But
nah, it's only been 30 years. I doubt it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's some stories I'm still scared to tell my mother. But
the porno in the VCR that got stuck and
anyway.
Yeah. Oh, she'll never know about that. I'll take that to my grave. Fuck that. She'll never know about that.
We'll just send her this clip. It's fine.
You could tell her on her deathbed.
Fuck no. But anyway, there's a handful of paintings that Andrew got him. The way he acquired is because my mother had given me some money for, I think, the phone bill. And somehow I lost the money.
You didn't lose the money.
Yes, I did.
You were playing pool and you got hustled.
No.
That's what you told me. Is that you played pool and got hustled and lost the money.
Well, if I told you that was a lie. That did not happen.
Well, that's the story you told me. And I felt sorry for you.
I'm sorry, Andrew. 30 years later, that's a lie. That never happened. I actually lost the money, and I don't know how I came to Andrew Ford, and basically he bought paintings off of me, so I had enough money to pay the phone bill because I did not want to tell my mother I lost the money.
It's not considered losing if the prostitute doesn't give you the money back. You know?
Shit!
Yeah, okay.
And then Doc, this is Andrew drawing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got that one sitting over here.
I think that's the only thing I've drawn since the stroke.
Yeah.
So
looks like it. I'm just kidding.
Wait, no, you showed some like hot cat girl you drew one night.
Oh yeah.
One of the first times I started watching the stream.
Oh, maybe I did do that too.
Yeah. And then what was it? And then I had one on here for that's Flint. And then I did a drawing of Julia had a had a drawing of me that was fucking hilarious that I ended up putting on there. Let me see if I can show that one. And I'll show that one, and then we can do like actual work. But it's actually pretty funny. So
We're not going to get any work done tonight. What are you talking about?
Well, no, but this is good. We're getting back in the groove. It's New Year. We gotta remind ourselves what we're doing.
Because remember, we all met in what was it? What was the guy? The first period. We all had first period together. All four of us.
Hatcher.
Yeah.
Hatcher. Yes.
Sculpture 1.
Yeah. So Doc, this was my my oldest daughter drew this, and this is what Web3 will do for you, man. Like she was drawing this, and I said, "What's that?" And she said, "It's a picture of you, Daddy." It's just like I clearly hadn't shaved or like cleaned myself in a while, you know.
She definitely got the nose right. I mean, that's
yeah.
That's so funny.
It was like that's like how I felt. Like she just kind of nailed it, and I was like,
yeah. It's funny what like kids' perception of you can be, because like, you know, my wife's from Russia, and when I first went over there, our stepdaughter was 8 at the time, and you know, she sent me a drawing for like my birthday or something after I was over here, and it was Mom and it was me, and it was like profile. And I was doing something, and there were these little things flying down. I was like, "Honey, what is that?" And she's like, "Oh, that's you peeling potatoes." Like, apparently that was the biggest impression. Old Dr. Potato Peeler of the family. But bless her.
Awesome. Hey, Kyle, how are you?
I'll be right back, guys.
Doing good. How are you doing, Todd?
Good, man. Good. Welcome. We're just reminiscing a little bit and getting warmed up. You know, with doing a lore game on Thursdays, like a private lore game, we kind of wanted to warm up and do some of our own. It's we're kind of mixing. We're attempting to mix Fridays with like a little bit of straight up nerd den, off track railroad, off trackness, and sidetrackness, and then actual like doing stuff. And Ramel had a really like both Zach and Ramel had some good ideas. Starting to do a story. We're going to do a lot of my plan for this year is to do a lot of stories, like actual, like getting the work out, getting the pages out, getting some books out, like get it out there.
Fuck yeah. Let's do it.
Among other things, stories in all forms. So Zach had suggested Trash Panda, Carl, Cobalt Fox, and Clairvoy. And then Ramel had talked about, well, actually, Ramel, do you want to fill Kyle in a little bit on the idea that you had, like this unused concept?
Yeah, I had it was a kind of a heist concept where you have like these guys, they're a group of guys, they get hired to go on a heist. They're supposed to go in and grab this MacGuffin. We haven't even established what it is yet. But the thing is, they were hired to be the decoy job. Whereas you had the real heist, which was Plan B. They were supposed to actually get the MacGuffin. However, in this story, Plan A actually got it, and they was like, "Oh, fuck. Yeah,
nice.
like, oh fuck, Plan A got it." So the money, whatever, was promised to B, but now they got to they have to pay Plan A, but they really don't want to play Plan A because they was never supposed to survive. So that is the triggering conflict, so to speak. So I mean, we could swing it to where you got A goes against B or whatever, but you know, like I said, I'll let y'all work that out.
I like it because you got A, which is sort of like could be the adult fantasy main characters or whatever, but then you've got Team B, which now is going to be after Team A, but then you also have C, which are the people that hired him in the first place, who are also after Team A. So you got like just chaos ensues potentially. It really is pretty cool. It's like a backwards Ocean's 11, which is cool.
Yeah,
I love
You should like Tarantino this shit, where you open with them holding the bag and being like, "Holy shit," and then go back and fill in pieces of other, like, you gotta like world build, right, a little bit, like if this is like a kind of intro thing, and kind of go back, and it could be like who knows what kind of stuff, like it could be from the point of view of the clerk at the gas station, and one of these guys comes in as they're getting ready for the heist, and you know, like little weird pieces of news or newspaper, like anything you can do world building and lead back up to like the actual event.
It almost reminds me of like The Hangover.
Yeah.
In terms of story, like the way the story was structured. You know how they kind of like wake up and they're like, "What the fuck happened to us?" And then it flashes back to like them getting ready to go to Vegas. Have you guys seen The Hangover?
I've never actually seen it.
Dude,
no,
The Hangover. I haven't seen the other ones, but the first Hangover movie is so well written. It is.
I'll watch it this weekend.
Movie. Yeah,
it's really great.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
So does Team B know they're the decoy? I think that's also an important thing. Do they know they're the actual decoy?
I don't think they should.
No,
personally.
No. Well, the way I structured, they don't know that. Right. They're supposed to go in and get that, but they were never intended to survive. It's like an impossible task, and then like the money is irresistible, so that's the reason why they pursue it.
Right, and
but
once
they actually pull it off. Like, holy fuck, we pulled this off.
Not only that too, but like once they get a hold of it, and then they could learn the truth that they were the decoy team all along, and they were meant to die. They were literally thrown in there by their employer just to get killed. It's like once they now have what their employer wants, the employer in a way almost becomes, in a way, like a villain of the story. You know, like they're going to go up against them, their original employers. That's really fun, like setup. I like that.
Especially if he twisted Tarantino style. Yeah, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we could lore game the shit out of that, you know. So maybe go ahead.
That'll give me something additional to do this weekend. I could do that.
So you could have like I almost see like Carl, Cobalt Fox. Well, let's do this. Who would be? Let's check out the team, see who we can play with. I almost feel like Dead Step should be in there because he's like a straight killer. He's like the Punisher type.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's too, or maybe he's on. Maybe he's like no. Maybe he's like an enforcer that is sent from the employer later on to take out the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that.
I just think we should have Carl in there just because I think.
Oh yeah.
Because like Carl, I think is the closest we have to like an actual everyman character. I mean, he's not super powered. He's not. He doesn't have like a power suit or anything like that. He's just a guy who's really, really angry.
Yep, I love Carl. So, like maybe so we have like maybe Carl. We have Cobalt Fox, who could be the mastermind.
Do you have anyone who's like technically powerful but also a bumbling idiot kind of character, like that trope?
Finger Blaster, maybe.
Finger Blaster could be. Well, that's another thing. So who we're stealing from? You know, we kind of looked at Trash Panda, but something that Dusty and I have been talking about. We started it as a joke, but it's kind of turning into it where like Finger Blaster is actually like a crypto bro, and he's like the one that's like getting all the airdrops and shit. You know?
Oh
like,
yeah. Like the guy who doesn't have to try, but just like all of a sudden it's like big gains, bro. Yeah, like
Totally,
that's exactly yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so it
just,
could be
like
like
lucks into everything.
totally. So
Yeah.
so Finger Blaster could be the hit, right? Or like somewhere in there, because he's totally like the crypto bro. And maybe it's even like going after his like.
Yeah. Well, he's got to be the guy that actually is the one that somehow winds up with the actual plates, right? Like lucks into the plates. If he's just like one of those dumb luck kind of characters, I mean, I would think, like for a little bit of comedy effect to it, you know.
Well, isn't in the lore? I think Finger Blaster is like he's got the hots for Devoid. So maybe we can work that into it. You know, you see Devoid's ultra muscular arm, you know, ball punch him.
Dude, he's totally a crypto bro. Do you look at Twitter at any convention in Miami at the pool parties, and it's like just dudes like this, 100%.
And Stanwell is kind of our Mr. Fantastic. Like he's super technical, but I've always kind of imagined him as a depressed alcoholic.
I love that, dude. It's got like a little bit of Krang, TMNT kind of action going.
100%.
Awesome. Yeah, brain in the jar thing too.
So,
I've never seen this guy.
So he might be able to kind of be in there a little bit. Yeah, he could be a good selection. And D would be always good.
I think isn't Cobalt Fox? I think you said the mastermind of this.
Yeah, Cobalt Fox is meant to be sort of the kind of.
Yeah, he's not going to be on the ground. He's going to be the one organizing this thing, picking these people out.
He actually could be. Would he be the employer?
I think that makes sense. Yeah, I don't picture him on the ground. I think he's too smart.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like one of the smartest characters in the game, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
so from just thinking about it, because like it would be him picking out this team, he would want to pick people that are, you know, easily expendable, easily manipulatable, but also capable enough that they could get the job done feasibly, and no one would care that they're missing.
Right.
Like Carl.
Right. So who would be good to miss? Like you have, I mean, maybe Stanwell, although he's like a Reed Richards type. Definitely Carl. Are we down for killing kids? Would he push like Grumblebee in there? She's intelligent. She's like a tech whiz, so she could be a fit.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Maybe instead of Stanwell.
He doesn't expect much from her, but she overperforms, which is part of the reason they succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Deadstep could be the one hired by later on. B-Story kind of hired by Cobalt to go out, basically just take him out. You know, like assassin and take him out. Or some
well, actually, let me toss this in for context. So basically, it's like if you think of a organized crime, whereas you always have like your boss, and he needs something done, so he would just say he needs this done, and the person he goes to actually figures out how to do it. And that could be Cobalt Fox. It's like, well, the best way to pull this off is if I have a team go in there just to kind of intentionally get caught or killed, And once that happens, once they expend their exhaust their resources, it'll be easier for this other team to go in there and get it. But the first team is like, he's vetting everybody. Like, you're convincing. It's like you have the skills to pull this job off, but secretly not really. I don't really expect you to survive. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, his contingency plan is the real authentic plan. So when they go in there and they get it, it's like, fuck, they got it. So now his boss is like, look, they weren't supposed to get it. Now you have to make this right. I get it. I'll make it right. So that's what he seems. He's like, look, change the plan. B has to go after A, and y'all have to come back with that because we're not gonna pay A. We're just going to kill him and take what they got, and y'all get paid for it. That's
right. Would team B be any of these characters, or would we actually create a completely new group of characters to kind of go after them?
What if they promised Team A a ridiculous reward for completing the task, knowing they're never going to do it, and when they do it, it's some.
Well, see, that's what attracted him to the job. Is like it was such a large fortune. Is like they can't afford to just ignore it.
Yeah.
In it, because you can basically even have the conversation like, if they're willing to pay that much money or pay whatever, there's a high probability that we're not all going to make it out, but there is a chance.
What if they thought this was like their test to get into the organized crime group? Like, hey, they talk these guys up, but they're really kind of idiots, and they think they're going to go in there, pull this heist, and then get raised up through the organized crime syndicate kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Does Team A like if Team A walks out with the thing, they're going to be under the impression that they're supposed to be returning it somewhere, but then they're going to wind up being chased by the people they return it to, right? And that's going to be fun.
Well, they're supposed to be paid for it. They're holding it, right, and they're supposed to be paid for it.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, shit, we in there now. It's like we got this fortune, plus we have their attention.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a good setup, man. Ramel. That's a great little idea.
Yeah, this is great stuff.
Well, I'm pitching it to the right people, so
it's gonna be cool. Yeah, dude. I think we can greenlight that, and we'll just like maybe starting next week we'll just start really like beating it out on the beat sheet stuff. I'm gonna think about this. This is cool. I'm gonna really think about this. And so we would basically we have this kind of concept, and this could be sort of the story, and then as we do like a publishing schedule, we can have smaller stories or other things kind of support this main story. So kind of like an old school Dark Horse Presents, right? Like a Monkey Man and O'Brien is the main story, and there's a backup story by Sin City or something, right?
So, quick question: are we actually going to identify the MacGuffin, or are we just going to leave it ambiguous, like
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, like we don't know, and the readers will never know.
That's a good question. I don't know. I think we don't have to. I think Pulp Fiction. I mean, that's the most popular one that I remember, where you don't actually know what they were stealing. But
with any good heist story, the actual object of the heist is almost always irrelevant. The interesting thing is the process in getting it.
Right.
Well, the actual prize, it's really irrelevant. It can be gold, it can be art, it can be whatever. But no one really cares about that. What they care about is how it's stolen, and how and the actual story behind it.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Reservoir Dogs, where you had the flashbacks to Tim Roth, like practicing in the mirror, doing all that kind of stuff to like. That kind of stuff. Like these knuckleheads could be like, trying to commando over some cardboard boxes and like practice like their moves and just like some really like ridiculous stuff, right? Because these guys are kind of like low-level bozos. So how are you going to train for a big heist job? You're going to be like at the back of the restaurant you wash dishes at, like setting up cardboard boxes and like just pretend like.
So what you're saying is it's Ocean's 11 meets Lady Ballers,
or and this is like the best Jesse Eisenberg movie, 30 Minutes or Less. Anybody ever seen that?
That sounds really familiar, but I don't know if I've seen it.
I'll give you a really quick rundown of 30 Minutes or Less. What happens is that anybody know who Danny McBride is?
Danny McBride, yeah.
Danny McBride, yeah.
So basically, what it is, Danny McBride's father had won the lottery, and Danny McBride was such a fuck up, and his dad was like blowing all his money, and he was like, nah, he would be next in line to get it. So he comes up with this harebrained idea to have this hitman kill his father. I'm not going to go through all the characters, but in order to pay the hitman, it's like, how are we going to come up with the money to pay a hitman? And it was like, well, they got the bright idea to rob a bank, but we're not going to rob it. We're going to get somebody else to rob it for. Like, who the fuck are we going to get to rob it for us? So that's where Jesse Eisenberg comes in. And he's like a pizza delivery guy. And basically, they kidnap him. It was a brilliant plan. They kidnap him and drug him. And they said, yeah, and they strapped a bomb to him. Say, look, rob a bank, and if you don't, we'll blow up your vest or whatever. So he robs the bank. I mean, he successfully robs the bank, but some shit gets screwed up, and he gets screwed over for the money, whatever. But it is a really good movie.
Oh man,
it doesn't sound like, but you gotta watch it. It's funny as fuck. So
I like it's the guy that did was it Zombieland or whatever?
Yeah, that's Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. This is just really. I'm looking at the screens of the trailer. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
I've seen a few clips from it. I should watch the whole thing. It looks very good.
That is a good movie.
Yeah. I have a really dumb idea in regards to the MacGuffin. I know we were kind of playing around with the idea of not knowing what it is, but I've a really. What if we don't know what it is for like the majority of this storyline, and at some point, and Cobalt Fox for the majority of this is like, don't have it be damaged. It's priceless. It's the most valuable thing in the world, and it's in like a briefcase or something. Pulp Fiction. And at some point, Team A opens it up and finds like this piece of memorabilia or like a CD case from Cobalt Fox's favorite band, and he's like, "It's priceless to me."
Yeah, I love that. I was thinking
it's not like monetary value; it's just something he really likes.
Right.
It could be the CD that Steven Seagal made.
There we go. A real treasure right there.
That's right. Your classic.
Oh no, it could be the album that Don Johnson made.
Or David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Like, of his, like I think I have a cassette tape somewhere.
It's just so funny too, because like he's hiring these like assassins to go kill them to get him back, and he's like super malicious the entire storyline. So it's just really funny because he's taking it so seriously.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you find out that it's just like completely like personal value, not monetary.
That's right.
But I mean, that makes sense.
No, but it wouldn't be Cobalt Fox. It would be the people above him.
So Cobalt Fox is still
right.
Yeah, because Cobalt Fox is the guy that they go through to facilitate the
he's the handler.
Details of the job.
He's the handler.
Yeah, the handler. Or maybe it could be something of blackmail or something like that. Like a USB drive, maybe.
That makes sense. Like, because then he can be like, yeah, right. Because he's the guy he's like sort of the team He's the coach, basically. And then kind of putting the chess pieces on the board. And then that also gives us another mystery character of like who the employer actually is. And we don't have to necessarily expose that.
No, make it like the claw on Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Just the back of the chair and the arm. Stroking a cat.
Yeah.
Stroking a dead cat.
No, they actually revealed his face. Dr. Claw. They revealed his face, which kind of ruined the character because the mystique was gone.
Did they really? I don't remember them doing that. They must have done that like a season finale kind of thing.
I don't know when they did it, but they actually revealed his face.
That's not smart.
He looks like Rick from Rick and Morty, kind of. But
yes.
I mean, was this on like the original run or some subsequent series where because they like did a newer Inspector Gadget at some point?
I'm not even gonna look. I don't want to know what Claw looks like.
I think it was on the new one. It was never on the original run.
Yeah, I don't take that as canon. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because the new one sucked, if I remember. Of course. I mean, like, you can't go wrong. You can't go. Who was the voice?
Wait. Can you just say that this is like, you're in like deep like nerddom lore when we're arguing about like
Inspector Gadget,
the canon of Inspector Gadget.
What was the guy's name that did the voice for Inspector Gadget?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Gosh, Don Adams. Yeah.
He played Agent 86 in Get Smart.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He had that voice.
Yes.
Yeah, he had that.
Holy shit.
Very, very recognizable voice.
Huh. All right.
He did a lot of cartoon voices.
Yeah, he did.
I can't remember, but he did quite a few.
Yeah, he did. Or at least also, I think a lot of people impersonated his voice because it was so. He had this just very unique delivery with stuff too. Good old Inspector Gadget, man! I wanted to be Inspector Gadget so bad. I wanted
that was a great cartoon, man.
Helicopter head.
That was a great cartoon. So it's Inspector Gadget and
But
David.
the real genius was his niece Penny. She was a fucking.
My first cartoon crush was Jim. Remember Jim? It was like the
Jim was hot.
Oh yeah, Jim.
Rock
Jim was
band,
hot.
and then it went all synth pop.
Yep.
Sexy.
Truly outrageous.
I watched Jim. I watched Jim.
Yep.
What? No love for She-Ra, anyone?
That was Melissa's favorite.
I wasn't a big She-Ra. Too much male energy.
He-Man and She-Ra were genius because it got siblings to play together, right? And enjoy the same thing. You know, you're not like cutting your sister's Barbie's hair or whatever. Well, I mean, you might cut She-Ra's hair, but still, like, it was a really, really smart marketing move, and it also got me and my sister to play together. We could play this in the same world that we both enjoyed.
That's pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they always did. Well, that was the thing. Once you had a popular character, you always had to have a female counterpart, which it didn't always work.
No, it didn't. But I think with that world, it did really well.
She-Ra
universe is cool, man. It's cool. The Kevin Smith ones are all right too. I don't think I finished them. I mean, look, it is what it is.
They got a lot of flack.
There's a new season coming out. I think there's another one.
No, actually, I think the best reboot of He-Man, recently was the CGI one. So Netflix actually did 2 reboots for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah,
was the one that Kevin Smith did, which is basically a continuation of the original TV series, and it wasn't very good. But they also did like basically a kiddie show, though, CGI kiddie show.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. It actually had its own approach that was very, very good.
Yeah,
I'm more into adult themes, kind of, sort of. I mean, entertainment is entertainment.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I mean,
but what I tend to like is like adult themes, so to speak.
well, see, I was hoping that Rebel Moon, you know, the basically the Star Wars knockoff that Zack Snyder did would be good. The effects are good, but the story is just so bad.
Fucking steaming pile.
It's like it's not even that. It's like seriously. Didn't anybody just read the script and say, hey, read the script, and just point out like this isn't going to work. The dialogue is crap. The world doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, you're telling me that an advanced planet that can launch space, you know, fleets of starships into space can't figure out a way to grow enough food. Can't you know, doesn't have the technology to feed itself.
Right. Yeah. Well, they used all their resources or whatever. Mm-hmm. I bought it to the first act. Right. Actually, my favorite character was the village leader that died immediately, and the robot. Yeah.
But no, it's like
the robot that runs away.
And you know,
yeah.
What can we do? We can farm. What the fuck is that?
Right. Look, where it really lost steam, though, where it really lost steam was during the recruitment phase.
Well, yeah,
because it was just like, hey, who are you? The lady with the sword. Like, you took my baby, spider lady. Bad. Okay. I'll join you. And it's just like, that's it. Like, oh, you killed him? Okay, let's go. Done here. And everything was just like so.
I mean,
so to add on that, let me throw another flag on the play. You have money for all these ships, but not for food. How the fuck does that work out?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's like when they showed up on the planet, they showed right where the population was. Like, it's a whole fucking planet.
Right.
Like, if I was going to show up on the planet, I would, you know, I'd be sneaky about it. You know, I wouldn't just pop out like right where the damn village was. Mm. I may go on the you know,
Look, here's the other one. Here's just like the worst trope ever. When they finally found the resistance army, right? And the brother guy, he came and did this speech. And he's like, you know, you don't have to, but if you want, this is what we fight for. And they had the one girl come out and be like, I'll do it. Like, and he's like, I knew you would. But it's like, there is absolutely nothing about this group or these people to give you an emotional attachment to that one character. And the only purpose she served was to yell, no, when he got like impaled on the spaceship, you know, like that was the only reason for her to be there. It was so just fucking, and just too much slow-mo, man.
Someone told me,
I get it, Zack Snyder. You love slow-mo, bro. But
I haven't seen it, so it's hard for me to criticize, you know, armchair quarterback or whatever. But like, the thing that I heard that I thought was fascinating was someone said it was almost like he took just a bunch of random storyboards and just put it into some randomized order and shot it as a movie.
That's what it felt like. I mean, the story I heard though was that it actually began as a proposal for a Star Wars movie that he wanted to do, but he got shut down because Star Wars is dog shit nowadays. Apparently, there's a new movie in the works, and it's if that doesn't put the final nail in it, put the final nail in the coffin, you know, it'll come pretty damn close. But anyway, that's getting off topic. So, but also apparently this is a world he's been working on, you know, since he was a kid. So,
well, that
then you know there's something missing because. Honestly, I didn't get to the point. I didn't get as far as the final battle. I clocked out after they recruited the cyborg lady because it's just like the only way to watch this damn movie is to do it with the sound off because every time I hear the dialogue, like a brain cell dies. So, I mean,
no, you're right, dude. I subjected myself to that. Like I had a really long day and I actually had this terrible headache. It felt like crap. And I just I went home, I was like, go eat my dinner and watch this thing. And it was so bad, but I couldn't turn it off because I was just like in this brain numb, excruciating like head pain space.
You just like torture.
I just subjected myself to the whole damn thing.
Drinking game. Take a shot every time Snyder does a slow mo shot in a fight scene.
Oh, bro.
Oh, you're trying to kill us of alcohol poisoning.
It's like I don't know.
Wait. Oh, go ahead.
I got the feeling that he was doing that because maybe he knew deep down that he didn't really have much of a story there, so he had to pad it out. He had to pad out the time somehow to get a full 2 hours.
Yeah, he had to get some cool trailers, man.
Yeah.
But hey, there's a director's cut, guys.
And honestly,
yeah, you got time.
Yeah.
Well, also, and I hate to say this, I mean, Sophie Boutella as the lead, it didn't work. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a good actress. You know, she was in Atomic Blonde. She was in Star Trek Into Darkness. She's in a bunch of stuff. She
was in Beyond the third Star Trek.
Yeah, oh yeah, right. Whatever it was called. But you know, she's a good actress, but I just couldn't buy her as a kind of like a hidden bad, like when they went into that basically bar / whorehouse, and the giant alien. The giant alien pimp was hitting on a guy with her.
The cantina scene?
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah, where she met Han Solo.
I'm deep, dude. I mean, just absolute straight lift.
I'm thinking, yeah. I'm sorry, she couldn't pull that off. I mean, I think probably because she knew deep down. I think she knew that the dialogue was shit. So it was almost like she was like forcing herself to say it. But I just didn't buy her as like kind of like a Obi-Wan Kenobi type character, you know, an actual badass Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, it was like she just didn't have, I don't know, the gravitas, the presence to make that work.
Yeah, it was like the first scene where she talks to her adopted papa. Sorry, Todd, I know you haven't seen this, but I've just got to unload here a little bit.
Don't worry, I'm not
like
going to see it.
One of her first lines is like,
seen it sober.
Was like after like you've seen her for like 30 seconds, and she's already like, after what happened to me, I don't think I'll ever love anyone. I was just like, just leave now. Just go. I was like, this is where I should turn this film off, but I didn't.
Anytime I hear that, I'll be like, man, these bitches be lying.
Well, it's just like, dude, like, how do you introduce that? Like, not even a minute into the character introduction, like heavy stuff like that. After everything I went through, you know, it's like, come on, man.
I could almost see like Sophie Boutella kind of like there was a sense that she was like mentally gritting her teeth as she was saying this. You can almost hear her thinking, "I'm not being paid enough to speak. I'm not being paid enough to say this shit on camera."
Right.
But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
it was a weird one, man.
No, actually, I loved her in what was the first Kingsman.
Yeah, she was good in that. I think so. I think what happened is that Zack Snyder fell into the basically the Star Wars prequel trap. So, and let me explain what that means. So with the first Star Wars, George Lucas was basically had to operate with constraints. You know, he had a limited budget. You know, the studio actually had a say over how the movie came out, but he also had people around him. Like apparently, you know, Marsha Lucas, you know, his wife at the time was actually like a big influence on that. She actually. She's basically responsible for the Death Star trench run. I mean, that was like she was the one who basically made that work. But you know, the thing is, he had constraints. He had to operate with constraints, and it's actually when you are constrained like that, you know, when you have that's when you have to get inventive, because if you can do whatever you want, you know, you do whatever you want, and it doesn't work because it's when you're being held back in some way that you get inventive, because you have to work around that. That's when real creativity happens. It's like creativity happens when there's limits that you have to overcome. Then the prequels came along, and he didn't really have any limits. He could basically do whatever he wanted. The problem is that when he had no constraints, it was a story. You got a story that was hackneyed. You got dialogue that was just badly written, and you had, you know, like an effects budget that basically ate everything.
Yeah, and no one would tell him to his face like, "This is shit."
Yeah. I think with Rebel Moon, that's Snyder has his prequel moment. You know, he had a massive budget. I mean, you know, he could pretty much do whatever he wanted, because, you know, at this point he's Snyder. He's basically a geek god, and in doing so, he didn't have any constraints on him. And because like with 300, for example. The constraint there is that he had to follow
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller's original story. and Frank Miller was writing him on. It was actually part of was like an executive producer in that movie, I think. With the Justice League movies. Well, he got canned from that basically and replaced by Joss Whedon, and we all know how that went.
Oh God.
Yeah, and Sucker Punch I think is a good example of what happens when you let this guy off the leash. That was an interesting movie, but it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it made no sense. I mean, I still think I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm not a Zack Snyder fanboy, but I thought his Watchmen movie was so good.
I love Watchmen. It was awesome.
I couldn't believe that there was someone like some director actually understood Watchmen enough to be able to translate it. I was like, I could not believe how it felt like Watchmen to me, and it was unbelievable. I thought that was like a death knell. I was like, "There's no fucking way. There's no way that anybody's going to be able to take that book and make it into a movie and have it make any sense or have it be any good." And I was totally wrong.
I think.
No, because they attempted to make a Watchmen movie years before. Really? It's just that the technology wasn't there, and they deemed it unfilmable.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
You have to YouTube Watchmen movie versus book.
Oh, okay.
I think
that'll tell you a lot about that.
Watchmen also works because most of that is practical. Where you get lopped into all this like CGI heavy stuff and no one knows how to act, but that was all like practically filmed. I think too. It's a great film, man.
Well, I think that what it shows is that Snyder, he's one of those directors. He shines when it's not his story. Because then he has constraints. There's limits. There's something holding him back from going completely over the edge. So like Watchmen work because Watchmen's like there's a story you have to follow. 300 work because there's a story you have to follow, and you got the story creator as part of the team. Sucker Punch didn't work. It's an interesting movie, but it didn't really work because again it's his story and there's nothing holding him back. Justice League worked because again it's not his story. He had to follow the DC comic characters. I just think that, and Rebel Moon didn't work because, well, again, like I said, prequel moment. He had too much money and no one telling him no. And if he had just had like even someone who was even half awake looking at the script and they could say, yeah, dude, this isn't gonna work. You can write this stuff. No one's gonna be able to say with a straight face. There's that's actually a quote from Harrison Ford in the first Star Wars movie. Because George Lucas cannot write dialogue to save his life, and Harrison Ford there was like a scene in the Millennium Falcon. When they're flying out of Tatooine and he's basically giving a lot of technobabble. Well, Ford told Lucas at the time, "Yeah, George, you can write this shit, but you can't say it. You can't actually speak it." The fact that Ford could do it and pull it off just shows how awesome he is. But I don't think that worked with this movie.
I liked Man of Steel too, honestly.
It was okay. I mean,
it was all right, but it had some good scenes. I love the high speed fights and all that kind of stuff.
I like the opening scene in Krypton. I think that was the best action of Krypton I've ever seen. But again, I think like the big complaint about that is that was like the over the top violence, product destruction.
But that's totally realistic. That's why I liked it.
Yeah, that's true too.
People die. That's why I love like Invincible. It's like just absolutely brutal.
Yeah,
Invincible's awesome.
I need to read the book. I've read a few of them, but
I got up to issue around I think like 60 something. It's really good. What's really interesting about it is the cartoon is not. It's really interesting because having read the comic, you can see that they basically just took the comic and said and reshuffled it and took the best parts of it and put it into a show.
See, that,
it's really good.
That's what they did with that's also what they did with The Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think with the Boys TV show, I would say that's actually a case where the show is actually kind of better than the comic, because they took all the good stuff that that came out of that, but the author of that, I always forget the name of that. What's his face? The guy who wrote The Boys.
Was it Warren Ellis?
No, it was like the Northern Irish guy.
Andrew, who wrote The Boys?
Garth Ennis.
They
took all the good stuff in that series.
Eric Robertson was the artist.
Yeah.
Who cares about the writer?
Well, Garth Ennis was the writer, and they took all the good stuff from that story without and left all the stupid stuff that you get with a Garth Ennis book. I mean, say what you want about the guy, but he does have like he does have like a number of ambles he likes to bang on whenever he writes a story. He does, about religion, politics, and so on. But they kind of left they left a lot of the more annoying stuff out, but they got the really good stuff in. And I'd say that actually the show is better than the book. It has the spirit of the book, but it doesn't have a lot of the a lot of the really stupid juvenile stuff in it.
I've never read it, but I absolutely love the show. I think it's such good social commentary. I mean,
I think also it's a sign that people are talking about how we're kind of hitting a superhero slump. And I think we are, because we've had superhero movies like at the top of the heap for like what 20 years now, almost.
Yeah.
Longer than that, because I want to say in the 90s, like I say, everything started with what kind of started. Well, I can't say necessarily with Blade. Before Blade, The Crow came out.
Yeah.
And they figured out that they could make successful movies from little known properties.
Well, like there was also Mystery Men also. That also came out at the same time. I don't think that was a hit though, but it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I remember Ben Stiller and Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubin.
Janine Garofalo. Janine Garofalo's too. But it was all about Spider-Man, dudes. I mean, and I don't think if Sam Raimi didn't do that, it's like Spider-Man plus Sam Raimi directing.
Also X-Men as well. That X-Men kind of showed that Marvel could make a movie and make it work.
Yeah, but Spider-Man felt like it had the real spirit.
It had the upside down kissing scene with Spider-Man and Mary Jane, and that's iconic.
And the wet T-shirt jumping up and down of Mary Jane too.
Yeah, Kristen Dunst. She's ageless.
Yeah. My youngest was actually over at our neighbor's house playing with the neighbor's kid tonight. And before, that's why I was a little late. And I got over there and she was kind of looking at me like all scared. And apparently, he's the boy, the neighbor boy is just like a couple years older. But I guess they had put on Spider-Man 2. And of course, my youngest, she's never seen anything other than G-rated stuff. Mm-hmm. And they had to turn it off because it scared her. And she was fine. But then she came home, and as soon as she saw her mom, she just started bawling. It's like, I'm so scared. It was Spider-Man. It was too real. And the bad guy. And
Yeah.
You say Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, I think so. I guess. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Spider-Man's weird because they kept trying to reboot it with different actors. I mean, they had Andrew Garfield and then Tom Holland.
I actually like the Andrew Garfield ones too.
The Andrew Garfield ones are good.
Never saw that actually.
They're good. They're actually really good.
The CGI was terrible.
Yeah.
CGI was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I know they're planning on bringing the X-Men in, but I've been, there's all kinds of weird rumors about how they're going to do it. Like apparently Wolverine's going to be gay and a female and gay or whatever.
What?
Nah, I don't buy it.
There's I don't know. There's like a lot of internet bullshit out there. I don't know.
Did you guys see? Sorry. Did you guys see that post? I don't know if you're in the server. Did you see that Spider-Man stop motion post that I threw up in there? This tweet. You guys should see this. It's really good.
What is this?
Yeah. Oh, let me share screen here.
Yeah, sure.
It's badass, man. It's one of those like really, really super articulated Spider-Man figures. Like I actually got one for my kid for Christmas this year. Let's see if you can see this. All right. Check this out. This is so badass. Hopefully you can hear the music, but if you can't, well.
We can't hear the music, but oh,
all
shit.
right.
Holy crap. Holy shit. That's cool.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's like a minute long.
That took some work. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Wow. This guy did a great job. Wow. Damn, dude.
That behind the back shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
Well, one, this guy's a fantastic animator.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And two, that toy is sick as hell.
Dude, these toys are sick. The hands come off. So you can hold on, let me so that like the hands come off, they've got different poses. It's got the webbing, it slips over the hand. Got a couple there's feet. Some they have magnets on the bottom, which I still haven't figured out why, but they're super articulated. Like when you bend the knee. Sorry, the sexy legs there. When you bend the knee, there's like a whole section of the knee to come out to let them like actually like articulate and bend it really well. Very, very cool toy. But yeah, that's badass, man. I saw that. I was like, holy shit.
You know what I thought you were gonna pull up? They did I think it was maybe Robot Chicken when they did stop motion Spider-Man. Where if you've seen those popular internet slap fights,
yeah.
where it's Spider-Man and the Hulk get into a slap fight.
What?
Spider-Man slaps the Hulk. And the impact was like that. They put like a squeaky toy effect to it. It was the Hulk's turn, and the Hulk's whole hand was bigger than Spider-Man's hand.
Right.
And when the Hulk cracked him, he flew right into damn Captain America, almost took him out. That's so fucking funny. If you ever get a chance to look that shit up,
yeah,
I think it's a Robot Chicken clip. That was funny.
I'll check it out. Yeah, the animation's sick, man. And he got all like the hero poses, like all the quintessential Spider-Man hero poses. Like,
oh, he got that right.
Done really, really well.
Yeah, I never had the willpower to do. So for some reason, like cell animation I can handle, but stop motion for whatever reason, I was like, no, I can't. Too much.
I like that a lot. Not only just because it was cool stop motion, but it's the stop motion like that you actually like his hand was there. It's the way you play with the toy, right? It just gave it like this extra kind of thing. Like that's what you see in your head when you're like trying to like do all this stuff if you're a kid. But this is like right there, and I really appreciate that part of it. It's all like just like his like the part when he comes out of the tube and he's changed. That was bad.
That's
shot
really,
too.
I saw that. That obviously, so
yeah,
that's really fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Well, guys, it's been a good nerd den, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Nerd den. So are we starting? You know, we got some good ideas for the Adult Fantasy Heist story. We got something on the board. Are we starting that next week? We want to start working on it.
I'd like to. I mean, I like this. I like to like plot that out and actually write it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some elements together, probably this weekend. Plus, I know with what's our guys on Thursday at Wag Me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna pull some art from their properties or whatever, and just kind of play with that. So that'll be my weekend, so to speak.
Awesome.
Like I said, I need some inspiration, something to do.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that off as soon as we close. We can all talk about that.
All
right. Yeah, man. Cool. Awesome. So we'll start working on this stuff next week. It's got my brain thinking, which is cool. I got some ideas, so maybe I'll start. It's gotten me wanting to watch The Hangover again, because the story structure feels appropriate. That and Ocean's 11, like a like a mashing together of those two things.
But watch 30 minutes or less.
Trust me. Got the trailer. I got the trailer pulled up. I'm gonna like rent it or see if I can find it on Amazon or something like that.
It should be free. It's a really good movie. They didn't spend a whole lot of money they didn't need to in order to tell a really good story.
That's always the best, man. To me, that's always the best. Like, you don't need to have a blockbuster movie budget to tell a good story. So,
yeah.
But awesome, guys. Well, love you all. Happy Friday. Happy Nerd Den. Hey, Andrew. And we will see you next week, next Friday here. We're going to be doing Lore Games and Nerd Den together for a couple few. Whatever.
That's like some Midwest. Go do that for a couple few.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. God bless. See you soon. Peace.